Hey, everybody. Welcome. How are we doing today? I'm checking, make sure I got. Do I got audio? Hmm. No audio. Let's see. Get my glasses. Yes, it says audio. All right, but I'm not getting it. Um. All right, I'm gonna close out of YouTube and I'm gonna try again. Josh is here. He says I've got audio. Wow, is that? Huh. Well, I'm here to talk about Josh. It should be. Josh says it's working. I got 2 thumbs up. And there we go. I'm here to talk about Josh. Now, why isn't the speaker working? It should be. Josh says it's working. I got 2 thumbs up. We got, all right, there we go. Perfect. There we go. All right. So, all right, people. You know my tagline, own your authority. And so we're here to talk about an American hero, in my opinion, by the name of Joshua Eddy. I affectionately refer to him as Josh, respectfully refer to him as Josh. So Josh and I met electronically, and I had created the Americans Notice of Liability, and Josh was looking at it, and he wanted to get some input from somebody that we were both following and had some respect for, a man by the name of Dave Jose. Had a YouTube channel, maybe still does. Dave Cares for You. And that was a very interesting time because at that, prior to that, Dave Jose had contacted me directly and he kind of down talked me, said, Ethan, you're not teaching. And that's exactly what I was doing. And I was teaching things that Dave Jose was not teaching and trying to learn things that Dave Jose would not teach. At any rate, Josh wanted an answer on this Americans Notice of Liability from Dave. And was shortly after that, Dave said, oh, no, I got to back up. David contacted me. He said, you're not teaching on my platforms. I want you on all my platforms. So I'd been posting for a while. Once this Americans Notice of Liability thing came up, I got a message from Dave. I don't want any more of you posting on my channel. So it's just interesting. You learn who is righteous and who isn't. So at any rate, Josh was dealing with some traffic tickets, traffic citations, and I explained Article 3 court, how I prepare the paperwork, and I spent some time with Josh, and he created a court case. His tickets vanished from the system. And about that same time, he was having some issues with the school system and his children. And I believe that that's why the Moses Lake police came to his home. This is one of the videos I'm going to play for you. These are all short videos. The longest one's about 6 minutes. I think it's at Moses Lake. The other two are very short. And these are all excellent But in addition to these 3 videos, Josh opened up court, dragged the parasites into his court, and all his tickets, or the tickets for that situation, left the system. So to save my arm, and until I can do better, we're going to do this. And that way I can stick the phone to it and you can watch. So let's do a short one first. This was the latest, so we'll do that. We'll do that. I don't know how much trouble I'm going to have dealing with these videos once I get this phone on the tape, because I've usually just done one before, one and done. I'm going to work on the ability to screen share, upgrade my presentations. But at any rate, this is pretty awesome. It's a very short video. It's at night. It's a little dark. But I think you can see enough of the interaction and you'll certainly be able to hear it. Check the volume.
Sir, just for recording today. Awesome. It's 53 here. Okay. And I do want to put you on, notice that, the people when they're in compact, and that's what, this paperwork is right here. And I do have your insurance card, but you probably haven't seen this, and I don't know if they've instructed you on it, but here's the last one that the last officer gave me a speeding ticket, and I served him notice, and I served it the way it's supposed to be. Basically what it is the people we have the right to privacy. We have the right to privacy, okay? And we have the right to our private affairs, not to be arrested. Those lights that you're using now are for emergencies only. This ain't an emergency. What made it safe for you to come back behind me faster than what I was going to catch me? What made it safe for you, but not me, one of the people? Be safe, sir. Good night. You too, brother. Be safe.
Oh yeah, beautiful, excellent job, Josh. All right, so go back, and here's Moses Lake. This is awesome.
All right. Notice of common law liability and cease and desist interfering with people's business. This is Jeremiah. We're going to serve this paperwork. Sit back.
You Eddie?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, sir?
How are you doing?
Good. So let's talk over here. Just let you know I'm audio and video recording everything, okay?
I am too.
So my understanding is you had some problems at your kid's school yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah, you do. You're being served.
You're being served.
You're being served. You have to take that. This is. Yeah, you absolutely are.
I already have a copy of it here.
No, you don't have a copy of it.
No,
this is something totally different.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. I need you to give that to your chief of police, Kevin Fuhrer.
Okay.
You're being served.
Well, you can go drop it off.
No, you're being served. You're on video. You're being served. I need you to cease and desist.
You can take it to the office and you can give it to him. Okay, I'm not going to take any paperwork.
No, this. Do you see notice to agent is notice to principal? Notice to principal is notice to agent. Do you see that, sir?
All I'm here to tell you is that you've been trespassed from the school. Do not go back for 6 months. Okay.
All I'm telling you is that you're interfering in the people's business, and I need you to cease and desist. I've already got this filed. This is notarized paperwork. You need to take this, sir.
If you go back you will be charged.
That's fine. You need to take your paperwork, sir.
So you're on video.
You're on video and you're refusing your paperwork. Here, see? You've been served.
I need you to sign.
Do you know how process served? I'm not signing anything. I don't sign anything.
Okay.
I don't sign anything. And those are your paperwork. You see that?
Do not go back.
Do you see your paperwork?
School
Espinoza?
until June. It's Espinoza.
Espinoza. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Do you see that paperwork that you have been served and you are leaving on the ground on my property?
That's not my paperwork.
That is your paperwork. You have been served. You are a law enforcement officer. Did you hold up your hand? Did you hold up your hand and swear an oath?
Anything to give to the chief, because that's directed to the chief.
That's directed to Moses Lake Police Department. You are Moses Lake Police Department. You are a bylaw enforcer, are you not? There you go. There's paperwork. You might want to pick it up. You may want to pick up your paperwork. They got it too. Hey, will you call the sheriff's department, please?
It has to go through the courts, okay?
It doesn't have to go through the courts. The notary is open court of records. You need to educate yourself. You swore an oath to the Washington State Constitution as well as the United States Constitution to uphold and defend against both foreign and domestic, right?
Kids will have to apply. Will have to.
Hey, bud, that has nothing to do with this. There's rules you got to follow. You're not even picking up your notarized paperwork. You are refusing to try to say. Do you know what happens whenever I say you're served? You've been served. You can try to get out of it, but that paperwork is right there, and you're on video.
That's fine. You can serve whatever you need to serve. I mean,
call 911. Get the sheriffs over here immediately.
You have to, if you have to.
If I have to, no, I am right now. You just got to wait here a second. I'm not taking that anywhere. That's you. You've been served. You've been served. I need you to cease and desist all the information right now. All this, you're done.
If you go back, you will be charged.
Hey, do you see that you're leaving your paperwork here, Espinoza, or whatever it is?
Go get him, Josh.
Hey, I need you to wait until the sheriff gets here.
Tell him, Josh.
You are not dismissed, sir. Hey, what's your badge number? Badge number?
If you want to sign this, I'll give you this form here.
No, I don't sign anything, sir. I don't sign paperwork.
You know where the police station is at, sir. Now go back to the school.
So if I go back there, are you going to have Kevin Fuhrer come out and deal with this video? Huh?
I'm going to charge you with trespassing.
You ain't going to charge me with anything. You can't. I'm one of the people. That's what that paperwork says. And it clearly gives you your definition in United States Supreme Court rulings.
You're in a public school. Okay.
The public, I pay for. You don't understand. You obviously don't. It's in court right now. You've been served, and you're walking away, leaving your paperwork, and you're videoed right here. It doesn't have anything to do with the legislator. I'm one of the people. I've got all the power. What are you talking about? Hey, get that sheriff here. He's trying to leave.
Okay, we'll see you.
Oh, you going to leave? I haven't been advised of anything. You need to take your paperwork. You gonna take your paperwork?
You can have it.
No, it's yours.
You can send it to me.
It's yours. It's yours. You need to take it.
Have a good one, sir.
Hey, what? Why ain't you waiting for this police or for the sheriff?
I don't need to wait for anybody.
Yeah, you do. You gotta wait. I've requested you to do your job and wait for the sheriff so he can supervise you. Hey, and they've already got it. Where you going? Don't run scared. Don't run scared. Don't be scared. Come on back. Come on back. Don't be scared.
I had a paperwork here. The officer.
All right. Excellent job, Josh. Excellent job. You see, folks, this is how you own your authority. This is how you do it. So, and we got another beauty here. This one made, here's the deal with Brian.
"17th of August, 1:49 p.m. I've been stopped. I've served my notice of liability. Going to come back. So.
Stick around, folks, because I expect Josh to call in.
So obviously I'm not going to write you one. How do you mean that that's on file?
I went down there in person and video recorded it, and
not engaged in commerce. And with me not being engaged in commerce, there's no reason to be stopping me. I have right to my private affairs. The Washington State Constitution also stipulates this. You held your hand up and swore an oath to defend the Washington State Constitution against foreign enemies, both domestic and foreign. So when you held your hand up, you didn't know that this is what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be interrupting me. It doesn't matter if I'm doing 5 or 10 over the limit because I'm one of the people. And I'm not doing it now. The definition of a violation is to cause harm, to damage another person, or sexually advance on you if it was unwanted. You know what I'm saying? That's the definition of a violation, to cause property damage. Out here when I'm driving, basically what you've done is I have the right to due process of law. And with you pulling me over without going and getting an arrest warrant, that makes you liable for the first trespass, just getting behind me. Then whenever you get behind me and stop me and get out and touch my vehicle, that's second trespass. When you're approaching me with your loaded weapon, that's a third trespass. You're at $1 million right there for your department and yourself. This is on file. And the reason that I'm doing this is to teach other people. That's fine, you are too. Yeah, that's good. So, and the reason that I need to do this is because to teach my brothers and sisters their rights out here. They need to see this go on. They need to see you not give me a ticket, so that they understand that they have their rights, that they too can own their rights and own their authority. We have our rights. We are over the police. We are the highest law enforcement. You're the highest law enforcement of the county. You instruct the FBI, the DEA, the ATF. I know my rights. And I know what you guys are supposed to be out here doing, and I know what you're not supposed to be out here doing. That's why every time I see one of you guys pull over another one of my people, I stop and I tell you guys every chance I get. This is how we do it, sir. But I appreciate you and your time and the education.
Well, I understand all that. I appreciate what you're saying. But the problem that I have is, if you had no speed limits,
I have liberty. That's for commerce. That's for people. That's for a truck driver, a bus driver, a taxi driver. Those people that are engaged in commerce are supposed to be following those speed limits, not the people.
Okay, I understand that, but I'm trying to make my point to you.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Is so if we don't have speed limits, or speed limits for anybody that's not doing commerce, and people go through stop signs and they go through speed or they go 50 miles an hour in a congested area and they have a crash, what happens then?
Well, then they caused the violation, my good man. If I were to hit somebody, if I run off the road and I take out your power pole, that's definition of violation. I'll be talking to somebody like you, paying my respectable ticket. Okay?
And I guess this is one of my questions is that for you to go down the road, not engaged in commerce, and drive whatever speed limit you want.
That's our beautiful country, sir.
And there was an accident that occurred.
Now you're getting on hypotheticals, things that didn't happen. But see, now that's where you're out of your jurisdiction, as well as you're a witness, right? Whenever you make your affidavit, you're a witness. You're a conflict of interest because you are a deputy and you're your own witness going after the people. Do you see the conflict of interest in that too? We can go all day on this back and forth, but I really got to get to work.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
The reason I didn't write you because I like to, every time I make a contact, I like to try to do something that never contact with.
Right.
Get my brain.
Right.
There's no sense of scratch down there.
Okay.
Trying to get money out of everybody, so.
I understand. Well, even if you try to, they've already go look me up, brother. They've already tried to, and I didn't pay it. And it's because I no contract.
That's up to you.
It's not up to me. It's up to your sheriff. Number one.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm not going to hold you up.
All right. I appreciate you. Have a good day, brother.
It ain't over, people. I wish I had a bigger screen.
And that is how we do that. Pull me over for speeding. There he is.
All right, people. There you have it. A clear example of a man owning his authority. Now, it doesn't have to go that way. Josh knows how to talk. That's very important. You notice he's not cussing at these people. He's not threatening. He's calm. He's collected. He's together. He knows who he is. So Josh has done more. Josh created a YouTube channel. It's called One of the People. Josh is recording his actions. He's teaching you how to own your authority. He's not telling you what to do, I don't think. He is leading by example. And I'm so glad that Josh reached out to me when he did, and that I've been able to be a brother. And Josh says, go look at my channel. So let's see. We'll take a look at the channel. Subscriptions. One of the People. Well, yeah, go look at Josh's channel. He's got videos there. Yeah, he says, for them. Okay, I'm looking to see. I thought maybe there was something I'm supposed to see here. So, yeah, Josh's channel. And Josh, feel free to call in anytime you want. Do it cell phone. I got 42% battery life here. We don't want to do a video call. We'll just do an audio call. And I'll turn the speaker on, and you can bring the people up to speed on. Here we go. Here's Josh. Hey, my brother Josh.
How you doing, brother?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
All right. I'm going to set the phone right here. It might make my screen fuzz a little bit, folks, but you'll be able to hear Josh, and that's the main point here. You got any questions for Josh? Put it in the comments. You got any questions for me? Put it in the live chat. For Josh and me, put it in the live chat. Any questions or comments, folks? So how's your weather out there today, Josh? We got a cool day here, but sunshine, no rain.
Oh, it's nice and warm here, brother. Nice and warm. Summer is definitely back. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we got nicer weather coming soon. So wow, Josh, you've been a busy man over the last year and a half, owning your authority and documenting it.
Yeah. There's all different routes, that one can take when dealing with, getting tickets and all that. There's a bunch of different information about, not accepting a contract and, taking it back to the sheriffs. I've tried all those things, and the best result that I've gotten is serving these people notice of liability. I've seen speeding tickets disappear totally off the record, not even send them to my house for collection because I went and served them the notice of liability after they gave me the ticket. You're basically standing up and saying you don't agree. And that's what it's all about. Through your silent acquiescence, they're going to charge those fees because you don't know any better and you're not standing up. And there's a couple different things that people need to, be aware of. It's not the end of the world if you don't pay a ticket. These municipalities, they update the insurance underwriter, and that's what makes your insurance rate go up for your cars or whatever. Like I know with, for example, State Farm, they won't mess with you if you got a bad driving record or driving while suspended on your record or any of that nonsense. But you can go and contact your insurance underwriter and dispute all the information, and that is what I've done. There is let me see if I can find this number.
And while you're looking for that number, Josh, F-Lease, I think is how we pronounce that. F-Lease asked, so he gave notice to them, superiors and whatnot, ? Sheriff who, ? So
Okay, so on my page, I've got a video where I actually, if you click on my name right there, one of the people in the chat, you can go to my page and go to watch all my videos. I served a notice of liability on the sheriff.
That takes them to your YouTube channel, right? If they click on that thumbnail.
Yeah, it should take them to my channel, and they should be able to go there and find the video where I served the sheriff's department. What I did was I printed off the notice of liability. I facilitated it to where it was for me and tailored for me. And you can go to oralhealthwithcannabis.com/services, and you can get the notice of liability that Ethan has prepared and facilitate it and tailor it to you and your area and you. And you go and record yourself serving it on your sheriff's department. It doesn't have to go to the actual sheriff. It can go to a deputy, whoever comes out to take the paperwork from you when you go in there to serve them. But record yourself doing it, put them on notice, and do it just like I did. I actually got into a little bit of a discussion with the deputy because the deputy wanted to say that I was not being arrested whenever I was being pulled over, and he wanted to call it a temporary detain. And I had to tell him, look, you just gave me the very definition for the word arrest. So these people are trying to stick to their guns, right? But they're not.
First of all, he arrested you when he stopped you.
That's right. Whenever the definition of arrest means to stop your process, stand still.
He created an emergency when he turned those lights on.
That's created an emergency. That is misprision of felony.
Yeah.
Those lights are for emergency purposes only.
He violated your privacy.
That's right. I got right to due process the law. I got right to my private affairs without being interrupted. And they've clearly violated that.
And
so what they're supposed to do whenever you get...
These are unalienable rights that were once constitutionally protected prior to incorporation and this massive infiltration of British agents through the bar that have infiltrated and destroyed virtually every aspect of our society as Americans. This is what you people need to understand. This is what you people need to realize. You are voluntarily enslaving yourselves because you have been brainwashed since birth. Your parents were brainwashed. Your grandparents were brainwashed. Your great-grandparents were brainwashed. And in my lifetime, the clampdown of the tyranny has been in such an accelerated fashion, it's unbelievable. And so I'm Josh. I'm roll with it, bro, man. Pick it up from there and bring it to the people, man. Show them how to own their authority and how to think and how to act. From your perspective,
there can be no act statuted as law that goes against your Bill of Rights. Okay, there can be no act statted as law that causes you to waive a basic, fundamental, creator-given right. Okay, so that means if the statute
statute here in Washington, it's called the RCW. They say that driving is a privilege. Well, you cannot make a right into a privilege. Therefore, that is null and void, dead on its face, doesn't exist. So as long as you understand these things and own your authority, you'll continue to get out of things. But you got to be sharp mentally, and you got to understand your rights, and you got to not be afraid to stand on your authority. And then
Also,
once you do that, it's all downhill from there.
I want to interject here, Josh.
Go ahead.
We see a lot of failures. We see people being put in torture cuffs in these situations. We see people being thrown in the back of the car and locked in with no handcuffs in the heat, in the cold. We see them being tased, dragged off and imprisoned. And so you don't want to fall on the sword. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to run, and you got to know how to stand.
Yes.
You got to pick your battles.
Yes. There could be a time where you may have to actually take a ticket because the cop just wants to be all, meathead and not be able to, do anything. So, you gotta be cautious on your approach when you're talking to these tyrants, for sure. You always want to be courteous because if you read the maxims of law, when you're being wronged, you're still supposed to remain in honor. Okay, so just because they're violating a trespassing against your property doesn't give you the right to be mean to them, basically, is what I'm trying to say. You must always hold yourself in honor, and you must always be there to present the facts, and staying calm is very hard to do sometimes. Your adrenaline gets going, and it's a lot to at that moment. But if you take a couple deep breaths and keep to your authority and understanding, who you are and the power you have, you'll be just fine. So there's a few different ways you can handle it. Number one, those lights aren't supposed to be used except for emergency purposes only. Speeding is not an emergency. Okay, that doesn't require those lights to come on. That is creating an emergency where none existed prior to you speeding. And if we're going to go with due process of law, he's supposed to go get a warrant for your arrest to come pull you over for speeding. And that's what nobody's doing right now. And that's what everybody's all mind control ultra over cops, watching cops, growing up their whole lives and seeing, this is the normal behavior that this happens. This actually ain't. That ain't supposed to be like that. So whenever you understand that the game is over.
That's right.
So whenever you gotta keep that in mind, that we've been brainwashed our whole lives growing up, and they're not supposed to be doing that without due process of law.
And they're always going after the all caps name. Every citation, every ticket, they are trained to use all caps. You are not the all caps. It is indoctrination from the point of prior to, but reinforced in the public school system. This is where most of us get our driver's education and then go on to get our driver's license. We are brainwashed and indoctrinated by our teachers.
That's right, because we don't even need a driver's license. Once again, like I said, they have taken a privilege, or they've taken a right and converted it into the privilege, and according to the maxims of law, that's null and void.
Correct.
That conception, it ain't even valid. So that's why it's very important for people to understand this stuff.
And
for example,
Josh, tell them where they can find the maxims of law in paper form in writing.
If you guys want to take a look at the maxims of law file that I am speaking of, you can go to oralhealthwithcannabis.com/services. It'll be right there. Go read. And, there's a lot of information that you need to understand and grasp. This is the way it is. And I hope you guys will take the time. But
there's
back
also a
to,
couple of talks that they can listen to, isn't there, Josh?
yeah. Anyway, back to what I was saying. There's all kinds of different ways you can go about handling this situation. I've played around with a little bit of a lot, and I want to talk about LexisNexis real quick.
Please do.
LexisNexis is who it is. It's one word. Lexis, Lexis, Nexis, Nexis. These are the insurance underwriters. And whenever you get a speeding ticket or a disregarding a stop sign or whatever, it all gets sent up to the insurance underwriter. That's how your insurance rate goes up. So if you got a speeding ticket, like I did one time, and I never paid it, well, it goes and it makes your insurance rate higher. It's a racket, is what it is. So what I did was I called up the insurance underwriter, and I told them that I am the flesh and blood man. Asked him it was a lady on the phone, and I asked her if she understood what that meant. And she said, yes. And I said, do you understand what an affidavit is and what it means and how to respond to it? She said, oh, yes, sir. I said, I see that you guys have got some things on my file from municipalities over speeding and disregarding stop signs and no driver's license. And I said, that needs to come off my record immediately because there was no due process of law. And she didn't understand. And I said, well, how about this? I said, if you don't take all that stuff off my record immediately and put it into an investigation, I will serve you an affidavit and make you respond to me via signed sworn affidavit. And she said, that's not going to be needed, sir. We'll go ahead and we'll start an investigation into this. So what they did was they started an investigation into all this, and they sent me a letter back, a 14-page letter that had all the things that I told them to dispute, and I told them to dispute it with the notation that no due process of law was given with any of these. And they sent me a thing back, said, we have reviewed the information from our Department of Driver Services records and determined that the data being reported as unverifiable. The data in question has been removed and our files have been updated after research conducted with the following source: Grant County District Court 35 C Street, Northwest Ephrata. We have reviewed the information. And it says it again, blah, blah, blah. We have, we have reviewed the information from our department and conducted the following source, blah, blah, blah. Hold on, I'm trying to get to where it's going to dismiss it real quick. Yeah, they basically said that that all those tickets were unverifiable, and they sent me the letter to it, and it's off of everything. It probably is still on the state driver's file, but that don't mean anything. State driver's file doesn't make your insurance rate go up. Then reporting it to the insurance underwriter does.
I got a question. Did they address it to the man or to the fiction?
Fiction.
Oh, and does that fiction name show in the delivery address for the postal delivery person?
Yes, sir. It's all fiction.
Okay, so
it is United States property.
I'm not sure if you caught my talk on this here, but I want to re-emphasize this point here. That fiction is a fraud. That's right. Fiction,
it is not you.
That fiction started probably with the birth certificate. And from there,
the fiction is linked to the settlement certificate, which was started by the United States. That name belongs to the United States, and that was something else I wanted to bring up and talk about.
And
when I went into court.
So from there forward, that all caps name, that fiction that's created, and you can go down the rabbit holes and learn about all the evil, dastardly things that are known about that. Everything forward from that birth certificate with that all caps name is constructive fraud. And when it is put through the mail, that's mail fraud. Now, a lot of you people don't have the cojones to talk to a policy officer the way that Josh does, or the way, so maybe you could talk to your postal delivery man, male or female, and educate them and do it on video and hand them the Americans Notice of Liability and tell them that if they put any more mail fraud in your box, you are going to video record it and document it, that this needs to stop immediately. What do you think of that, Josh?
Well, I think it's a hell of an idea. I don't know how much I would go into incorporating it because everything is in the all caps name. You know,
Yeah, but it's the look, these courts, the bar, these fake courts, these administrative processes of enslavement of the dead, the fiction that can't deal with the living man in flesh. You got to be represented by a British agent. What do? They send their paperwork through the mail. You see what I'm saying? You get your postal worker educated. Look, my talk was with the jail sergeant here in Kalkaska. The sheriff, since 2015, refuses to meet with me. And I put him in my court, and he pleads guilty to treason. And the jail sergeant is the one who I educated. And several months after I educated the jail sergeant, the news reports are that the Kalkaska County Sheriff's Department's moving all their inmates because they don't have staff for the jail. Gee, could that be because I educated the jail sergeant? You see, we keep going up to the top. We keep going to the sheriff. We keep going to the governor. We keep going to the senator, the congressman. And we keep getting slapped down, beat up, and trampled. But when you start educating at the lower level, and you've got people want to give advice on how you can participate in correcting things, and they tell you to get involved at the local level. You know, get involved with your sheriff, get involved with your county commissioners, get involved with your school board, right? And that's all awesome. That's right. This is what we should be doing all along. We shouldn't be putting up with any of this crap. But we are collectively enslaved. And we have too many lone wolves that one day they have a success, and then another day they don't, right? Because you've had an incident in between here, Josh, that we haven't talked about, where you got ticketed again, right? Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Okay. So you
take care of a few things.
Say again?
I was taking care of a few things, looking at a few things that I want to talk about next.
Yeah. So I was just, you know, I don't know if you were listening to that, but you had another event that in between these successes where you were ticketed, and then you dealt with it after. So this goes back to the point of knowing when to hold them, when to fold them, when to run, when to stand, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So go on, Josh. Tell us more about this LexisNexis or Nexus Lexus or whatever that is, because.
All right. So the insurance underwriter, they're the ones who are holding on to all your boo-boos, basically, and charging you for it. Well, you know, you're allowed to contest every ticket you get, and I highly recommend that you do. I don't care if you think you're guilty or not. You contest it, because they don't have the power to do what they're doing. And all you got to do is call them on it. And there's several different ways you can do it. The LexisNexis is one of them. There's a phone number that you can call, and you confirm who you are to them on the phone. And, you know, through confirming previous addresses or things. And then they'll listen to you, and then you can dispute everything that's on your file for your, you know, your driving stuff that is all trying to raise your insurance rates. Dispute them for no due process of law, and it'll come back. You'll see, you know, it works.
All right,
When you go into court and they, and now Ethan doesn't, recommend that you do this. I don't recommend you do it either. I recommend holding your own court and serving it on that court. That's how I recommend doing it. You hold your own court through the notary, and
the notary and the postal mechanism. Now you can serve personally, but you should be recording it.
Yes.
For documenting everything that you do. But Josh, when you talk about no due process of law, can you cite an example of due process of law in your lifetime? I'm not aware of trial by jury in my lifetime. I'm not aware of innocent until proven guilty in my lifetime. Can you even cite for us one due process of law in your experience with fake courts of enslavement and assumption and presumption?
There hasn't been any, but there's supposed to be.
Yes, that's correct.
They're supposed to have a warrant for your arrest. That's plain and simply put, to make stop, stand still. Okay. Whenever you stop somebody, that's an arrest. You stop me from walking down the street, that's an arrest. Okay. That is the very definition of arrest. You've stopped my process, my progress. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. So, they're all operating out of jurisdiction. They can't even get a warrant.
Yes.
They can't even get a warrant. They're out of their
speeding. How are they going to go to the judge or to the grand jury as it's really supposed to be? How are they going to go to the grand jury and say, hey, this person's speeding, I need to go pull him over?
Correct. Or how is anybody else going to go to a grand jury and get enforcement? That's the whole problem. We have no enforcement for we the people, and the parasites, the treasonous, they've got all the power, and it's through the bar agents, British agents, people. And what do they got in those courtrooms? They got your American flag captured with a gold fringe. That gold fringe is a bastardization of the flag. It's a captured flag. And that gold tassel, that represents the bar. And wings up and wings down, one of them's banking, one of them's Vatican. They have no jurisdiction over you if you own your authority, but by the maxims of law, you can give up your rights. And we do, because we've been brainwashed into it.
That's what everybody's doing right now, is giving up their rights by silent acquiescence, because they don't know any better. They think, I do have to pay this ticket. No, you really don't. And it's very simple not to. And there's a few different ways that we've, through trial and error, that I have figured out. This is the best way. Once you serve them that notice of liability, they're going to come up and give you a verbal warning. So, it can go that way too. But whenever I went, so back to what I was saying, I did step into their fictional court. I did go in there. And when they asked who I was, I told them that my name was Peaceful Inhabitant. And the judge or the executive administrator looked at me kind of crazy and asked, who I was here for. And I told them I was there for the estate of Joshua Roy Eddy. And they're like, and who are you? You're saying you're not him? I said, you can call me Peaceful Inhabitant. I said, that name belongs to the United States. I said, they're the secure party in this matter. I said, you can call me Peaceful Inhabitant. I said, that name's all caps name. I said, would this court have me perjure myself and say that I'm that all caps name when I'm not? And he said, no. So after court that day, a couple days later, I was sitting down looking at the minutes of the court, and they actually put in there that party present on behalf of defendant. That's what they wrote, because I showed up as Peaceful Inhabitant. I was not that. I am not. I am not that all cap name. And they just proved it by saying party shows on behalf of defendant. And they messed up because now they put it on the court minutes that the notice of liability has been shown to the court.
Any of this
So now the district court's aware.
any of this paperwork that involved in any of this come to you through the postal service to your post box?
No.
In any of the other situations? Yes, I know they did. At least one.
Yeah, from mailing a ticket saying I needed to pay a ticket or something. Yeah.
Yeah. See, and that's that all caps name. And this
Yes,
is where I
it is,
say,
all caps.
this is where I say, deal with your postal delivery person. Put the fear of God into them. Educate them. Let them know. Tell them that's a federal offense. There's federal offenses there. That's mail
Right.
fraud.
That's a good idea, Ethan. That's a good idea. I'll try that.
Good. And record it, Josh.
I will. Absolutely.
Excellent. Excellent. We should make that. Is there any way we can make that a TikTok challenge? You know, these kids, they got these things, these challenges, and people doing stupid things. They end up, you know, starting fires, blowing things up, getting hurt. Would be awesome if we could make this a TikTok challenge, or, you know, some kind of a challenge. You know, get the people involved, get them to understand who they are, Josh. So, man, you've been doing it, you've been putting it out. You've done all this, and you created a YouTube channel on top of it. On top of that, you got a radio station. You should talk about your radio station too. I'm going to shut up here and just let you go, bro, because that's why I got you on here. I want the people to hear from you because you're an American hero, and everybody should salute you and be inspired by you, and subscribe to your channel and donate to you and support you and own their authority just like you are, bro. Let her rip, Josh.
Well, I started a radio station because I got tired of not being able to make a change locally, and you know, I was into radios since I was a young kid, playing around on CB radios, and it just kind of blossomed from there. You know, I went and I worked several years in communications, building towers, and you know, so I've got the background of RF, and I played around with it my whole life. So I figured, why not start a FM radio station? So I did. And the facts of the matter is we have all the power as the people.
What do you play on that radio station, Josh? Tell the people what you play on that radio station.
I play everything I want. I play all the stuff about, well, I don't want to say it on this platform because I don't want to get a strike on your channel, but I play all the stuff to make everybody aware of what is going on and all the deception that is going on, the cog that is going on, the, you know, what everybody is seeing happening, going in the administration, everything.
Once in a while, you play some videos from a long-haired old man out of Kalkaska, Michigan, too, don't you?
Yes, sir, I do. Yeah, I play all kinds of stuff from everybody that is bringing content to the people that will benefit the people. That's what gets played on my radio station. I got about the possibility for over 25,000 listeners. So I didn't want to start it. I mean, I did start a YouTube channel, but a YouTube channel ain't really how you're going to make a change locally. And I'm trying to make a change locally to where everybody can hear the information and know what's going on, and maybe we can dialogue about it a little bit. You know, I don't want people to believe me. I don't want people to hear what I say and take it as the word. I want them to hear what I say and go research it. But, you know, something else I want to bring up. If you're using Google to do all your Google searches, you know, that ain't going to work. You guys need to start using browser called Brave. You can go to brave.com, brave.com. Its search engine works way better, and it's not been messed with to where it ain't going to show you the true information that they don't want you to see. It will show you whatever you put in there, and it's way better than the Google search or DuckDuckGo.
What's the reach on? Josh, F. Lisa is asking, how do they reach your radio station? What is your what's your range? What area do you need to be in, and what's your call sign?
All right, well, it's just 103.7, and it's only in Central Washington, and it does not get tailored onto the internet. It is strictly an over-the-air signal that you can hear if you are local.
Give that call sign again. It broke up. Give it a little slower.
Just 103.7, We the People Radio.
103.7. Excellent.
Yep. So if they're if they're around here, they'll hear it. If they want to put their radio on it in their car. I've got a thing where I can actually text message people's car radios, so I can I tell them that this radio station is in the jurisdiction of the man in pursuit of happiness. So,
amen.
They can't mess with me. It's all out there. We have dominion over the land, air, and water. We have right to free speech in this country. What do you think that radio station's all about? It don't get no more free speech than that. And I put it on them, and I let them know if the FCC can't do anything to me because I'm not in their jurisdiction. I tell them I'm not in their jurisdiction. They don't even mess with me. I've also served the FCC a notice. Said, hey, better not come mess with this person. Not unless you want, your ass handed to you. So, all you got to do is own your authority and stand on it, and don't be afraid to break a few eggs. This is trial and error and leading by example. And, the truth will make you free. I can't make you free. Nothing I can tell you will make you free. You have to read, and you have to understand. And all this information is not going to be in one paragraph in 5 little sentences on one page. You know what I'm saying? You actually have to get into it. You have to get elbows deep in some books and start reading. I know a lot of people hate reading and got short attention spans. That's why, we got all these truth seekers out here making videos. Just Human, Badlands Media, Stu Peters, X22 Report, Christian Patriot News, the Truth Seekers News. All these are on Rumble. And, if you need to hear them again, just watch this video again and rewind what I just said. Go watch all those people. Derek Johnson is also another one. On Rumble, it's Rattletrap 1776. And on Facebook, he's 1776 Nation Original. And go check him out. It's all places where you can see what's going on. Derek Johnson also has a blueprint that is available online where people can go and read about all the executive orders that was put out and why things are happening the way they are right now. And it's a lot of information, I understand, but go start diving into some of this stuff, everybody. This is where we're at. This is where we're going, and we've never been here before. And one other side note, I'll jump in there and say the dollar's going to collapse. We've never seen this. No one's ever seen this. That's never happened before. It's not a recession. It's not a depression. It's the collapse of the dollar. And everybody should be buying silver, gold in hand, and getting all your 401k out. Get rid of it. Get it into physical gold and silver because they're going to take it. They're going to take all your money. These banks are going to collapse. And where are you going to be when the dust settles? So, it's something for everybody to really start thinking about. We've never been in this position before to where things are happening, and everybody is awakening to a whole bunch of things at once. So,
Well, most of America doesn't have enough money to survive a month. If they lost their job and had no assistance, no aid, they'll be out of money in a month. And so yet it would appear, all things, that we're going to see a reset, a complete financial reset. It looks like a global reset. I think the world that we're going to see on the other side of this is almost unimaginable. When hidden technologies become released. Now look at my patent. Look at how many people could have benefited since 2015, since I learned this.
Yes, and look at all the suppression that they put on you since.
Yeah, and right, and
deliberately going out of their way to break you.
And how many people have been able to benefit from this? Very few. And this is a patent that issued. What about the patents that they wouldn't let issue? What about the patents that were bought up? You know, there was apparently a carburetor back in, the time of the muscle cars. The muscle cars could have been getting 90 miles to the gallon and tires that didn't wear out. But these things get bought up and then they get put on a shelf. And then anybody that tries to enter the market, they sick the bar attorneys on them and they just financially destroy them. They destroy their lives. They destroy and it takes a rare individual to be able to stand up, dust off, shake off the mud, heal up from the cuts and bruises and beatings and trudge on and keep bringing it and get knocked down again, keep bringing it, That's the American spirit. That's freedom. Live free or die. Give me liberty or give me death. And they have enslaved us. So all we have to do is turn the corner. And I'm going to sneeze here in a second. I think I can't. The world we're going to come into, free energy. Excuse me.
The game's over when we all stand up, Ethan.
Correct. And so it's so hard for people to stand up. I'm thinking, I've tried. What can we collectively do? I thought right to travel, a caravan right to travel. Shit, why can't we get that put together? Somebody should be able to organize that. Man, it's like, no, that ain't going to happen. So we just have lone wolf, and videos like yours.
Right.
It's
something else.
A lot of pollen in the air.
On real quick. I want to bring something up right quick. I noticed out here that there's all this U.S. citizen stuff, and I got to looking into it, and there's a gentleman, a pastor of the way or pastor of the road or something like that, and he was talking about a few things, and it got me curious, and I started looking into what he was saying, and I found out that he was absolutely right, saying that we are not U.S. citizens, that we never applied for citizenship. I'm not a United States citizen, although I'm guilty of, or I was guilty of, United States Code 18-911, which says, that you're guilty of saying you're a United States citizen.
I want to back you up, Josh. It's all a fraud. All a fraud.
Well,
we're technically not guilty of anything, and you're absolutely right. We're not a citizen of the United States unless we give up our rights and step into their trap. And we've been brainwashed.
That's why I want to bring it up.
We've been brainwashed to walk right into their trap. And I remember my day in court, my first time before that judge, when I was a pure slave, and the judge said, "Do you live in the United States?" And I thought to myself, what a stupid question. I said, yes. If I'd have known then what I know now, I would have said, hell no.
That's right. So whenever I was, there's a lot of people trying to own a gun right now, right? Like a handgun.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some information that I think that would benefit everybody from hearing this statement. In order to have a concealed weapons permit, you must say you are a United States citizen. If you are not a United States citizen, you don't need one because you're a man, you have all the highest power. But if you're a United States citizen, you don't have rights, and you need to apply for your privileges. So you can't even go and now to get a concealed weapons permit, it's all done online here in this state. If you check, no, you're not a United States citizen, they won't let you get the concealed weapons permit.
Yeah, well, we don't want
So that just goes to show you, you don't need a concealed weapons permit. You have the power already.
You've got the
Own
Second
it.
Amendment. That's why it's
Own it.
I'm talking about these people saying they've got a constitutional carry state. There's news articles and reports. There's 20 some constitutional carry states. You got a Second Amendment, people. You've got an unalienable right to protect yourself and those around you. And
Yes, sir.
So everything
Everything is a right. They're trying to make it a privilege, like the driver's license. They're trying to make it a privilege so you can conceal your weapon. Do you see what I'm saying? It's null and void on its face. It was null and void at conception because they took and converted a right into a privilege. So I just wanted to hope everybody understands that and puts it together to where they're not going to, be foolish anymore and think that they need to have this concealed weapons permit or that they have to do something like register their gun. Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah, see, there was a time in this country when we made things, and there were gun makers, and there were shoe makers, and there were wagon wheel makers, and there were, tool makers, and we made things. Men made their own tools. Men made their own equipment, and they've taken this away from us. They made everything so convenient, just, I'll go to the auto parts store and pick this up. Just go over to the tool store and, get this tool, get that tool, just everything. Your food, just go to the grocery store and get it. The butcher will even wrap it up. Back in the day, the butcher wrapped your meat and your fish and all that up in paper. And your beverages were generally in glass. They've contaminated all of that, something that, it wasn't so bad when I was a kid, from that standpoint. Now your meat's all packed in plastic, wrapped in plastic. Your drinks are in plastic. You're contaminated with plastics. It's completely different. And we're not taught anything. People don't know how to farm. They don't know how to pop a seed. They don't know how to test the soil for pH. They don't know how to water a plant, for crying out loud. Josh? Can't count change, make change for $1. If the electricity goes out and the cash register is not working, half of them can't make change for $1. It's just that the world we're in. And we have to learn to become responsible. And so freedom means owning your authority. It means taking care of things for yourself and for your community and your family. And we got to take the system down. And it's coming down. It appears to be coming down. Derek Johnson has done a good job of clarifying some things. And
he has. He's gotten a lot of people to wake up and see, like whenever Trump did that on November 15th, that was the Articles of Confederation, whenever it was adopted by the Second Continental Congress. You know what I'm saying? All these things are happening for a reason, it seems like. And a lot of stuff is happening, that people aren't really catching. They're waking up after the fact, and it is a very biblical and monumental time, like Derek Johnson says. I have to agree with him saying that.
All right, Josh, I think you're not looking at a screen right now because of your locale. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not looking at a screen. Why? What's up?
All right, I'm putting on tinfoil hat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever they want to think. You know what I'm saying? People are more entitled to their thoughts now than ever before. It doesn't, okay, you're basically just showing yourself out there for who you are. That's okay. That's fine. You're the one doing it, not me.
Well, I'm just, conspiracy theorists are batting 1,000 in recent times. So
it kind of seems like we're right on the money, though, doesn't it? You got all this stuff happening, and we've all been saying it for a couple of years now, and now it's all coming out in the open. So
yeah.
So you want, I guess.
So I put the tinfoil hat on because I'm gonna tell y'all what I think from
oh my goodness, I see it. I love it.
I want to tell you all what I think from my assessment as a boomer. All right, I'm gonna turn 65 on the 4th of July, so that's who I am. All right, I'm a boomer, and I was a pure slave my whole life, but I was a rebel. I learned early on. I would rather ask for forgiveness in the event forgiveness was needed, but don't ask for permission. Just do what you want to do. And so just, be careful about it, because life is very dangerous. Freedom is dangerous. So I was never a conformist. And so I've only been awake for about 2.5 years. And I have been in the middle of 40 acres, isolated. No, virtually this type of communication, and it's seldom. A lot of time by myself, a lot of time to think, research, study, and figure things out. So that's why the tinfoil hat's on. Because I'm going to tell you what I think, what I'm thinking. My gut. I want to know the truth. I want to know the truth about everything. And I think we're going to get a massive wave that is going to be really difficult for a lot of people to deal with.
I think so too. Derek Johnson said he got his media pass for Gitmo down there, so that's going to be very interesting.
He's not only got his media pass, he's got his DOT itinerary, and he's got his passport, and
I believe he's got his TWIC card. He made a comment on one of his videos, and I don't think anybody caught it, but he said that he's going to be able to move across the borders, the barriers, the zones when everybody's locked down and everybody has to be restricted. And we're not going to be able to go anywhere because they're going to stop everybody from moving. But he will have a pass to where he's allowed to go across the barriers. Did you catch that from him?
Well, I did it in a talk. It was, I want to say, probably the better part of a week ago. I want to say I
think it was the Freedom Channel broadcast, or FCB, a guy named on there, Freedom Content.
He's done so many talks, and I don't catch them all. So it's possible he's done it on a couple of talks. But I caught a talk by Derek recently where he discussed this, and he did make the point that he will be able to move about freely. And I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but I walked away from that with the set in my mind that, well, we are in lockdown under martial law. Derek Johnson's paperwork allows him to move about freely.
Yes. Yeah, he got a press pass or something, and something else that went with it. I think it was a TWIC card, because the TWIC card allows you to do a whole bunch of stuff. You can go talk to the judge in his chambers. You can cross the state lines, go on any military base, cross any military checkpoint you want with that card.
Sweet.
So if you ain't got your TWIC card, you can go TWIC. I think is how it's.
So I don't know if you caught this or not, Josh. Derek told us recently, I'd say within the last couple of weeks, that when he was at Mar-a-Lago, that a man came up to him, and I can't remember if he said, "I don't know who the man is," or "I'm not going to tell you who the man is." But it was one of those two, I think, or something along that line. But the man walked up to him and said, "You know that video of yours that went viral? You know it didn't just go viral," and turned and walked away. So Derek he's talked a lot about how he's tried to make videos go viral in the music industry and how it's not easy. And from that little tidbit there, Derek got out there and said the right thing at the right time, and the right people said, "This is the guy that we need now." And his video went viral. And so
I did catch that. I do remember that. Yes, and I caught that.
And so you got to be real careful about the people that you're listening to, because a lot of these people that have the audience, it's for a reason. And you've got your fear mongerers, you got your metaphors, you got your bad agents, and you got your 80-20 guys, your 90-10 guys. And these are guys that are going to, tell you good stuff. And it's just to bring you in and then take you down the primrose path to hell with their BS. So you got to be paying attention to who you're following. Even you can pick up good information from bad people, but you have to be able to discern what's being said. Wouldn't you agree, Josh?
Yes, I would. Yes, there's a lot out there, and what is it, Ultra Trump the Destroyer show? He's mentioned it on there with Derek Johnson a few times too. Yes, I fully agree with that. Yes, there's a bunch of people like they're trying to sell these Trump dollars and stuff, pushing these big advertisements on their page. I would stay away from those people. So it's kind of up in the air though, man. What I do know is that those executive orders, just like Johnson has said, they're not extended past March 24. Why? It does seem like we're about to see some closure here. It seems like, nothing's being extended anymore. So it looks like we're going to be seeing the end of things here soon. And, New York Times was out there trying to warn all their satanic buddies, saying that there would be military tribunals. A lot of people took that as a conspiracy thing, put your tinfoil hat on. I'll tell you what, that Durham report just got released and had a whole bunch of stuff that nobody's talking about except for us truthers putting stuff together. And it's starting to look like that military tribunal situation is going to be happening a little bit more now, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It has been happening. It's been going on for a long time. It's going on in, I got my tinfoil hat on, okay? I'm talking for anybody who can't see me. I got my tinfoil hat back on. It's happening in many locations around the world. And it's not just a United States thing. And so I believe where we go one, we go all. When we come out of this on the other side, everything will be in abundance. We have done pretty much everything without money. There's been no money. It's been debt notes. And through those debt notes, they have robbed us, raped us, and destroyed us, and kept us in poverty and in fear and in want and in need. So when we come out on the other side of this with free energy, true health care, clean water, clean air, good education for the young people so they get their life started outright, and the world will be vastly different, because I can remember being in my 30s and thinking what my grandmother experienced and my great grandmother, what they experienced in their lifetime for all the innovation and everything. And I think what we're going to go through is going to compress that into, instead of an 80-year timeline, compress it into a 1 minute timeline, and then multiply it by, pick a number, because I just can't fathom how glorious it's going to be. Everybody's got fruit trees, berries, grapes, vegetables, animals grazing, everything's clean, healthy. We're done contaminating the water. We're done killing and enslaving each other and poisoning and lying to each other. And we've got free energy, and we're using electroculture and just on and on and on. And the truth isn't hidden from us anymore. And we're no longer talking in babble, and we can all communicate, and there's no inability to communicate. Wow.
It's going to be nice to see, what happens. Hopefully, the military's job is supposed to be returning all of the stolen things. Everything that was stolen, the military is supposed to be replenishing us with.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying that's a time of post-millennium, something. And that's where we're coming into now. The military is actually supposed to be returning all these things that were fucking taken from us as the people, from our country. And it should be pretty exciting. There's a bunch of people out there saying that, this is a coup, and that some are saying that it's not, that it's all planned, and,
well, the beauty of it is it's all being done by laws and orders. And the fact that you have, it would, by all appearances, many country military involved, just by the tracking of the flights. You have military aircraft from many countries on air bases here in America, on military installations here in America. And what Monkey works and what Derek shows with the flight paths, just that in itself, if you knew nothing else but that's got to tell you something, right?
Yeah, it does. It's definitely a curious time to be paying attention, and everybody's looking for confirmation. Start reading the executive orders, and you'll start getting some of your confirmation.
Yeah, and when you're down the rabbit holes and you're, everything's fiction, everything's fraud. Understand it goes back to the people in the military that were here before government, and your rights are unalienable and unalienable, and it's the military's job to protect against enemies, foreign and domestic. And so people get all caught up in all the paperwork, everything from the judicial and the legislative, and it's real easy to start getting short circuited. And you're talking about this and you're talking about that. Well, I'm gonna put tinfoil hats going back on. Okay, so the continuity of government, reconstitution, devolution, continuity of government. All right. Okay. So this would sound like it's military stepping in, and going to be up to the people once the cleanup is done to do as our.
It ain't gonna happen until the people start waking up and realizing that they've got this power.
Right. When so here we go. Maryland. When the people know that all persons invested with the legislative or executive powers of government are the trustees of the public, and as such accountable for their conduct. That means that they can be tarred and feathered. They can be, right, we're going to hold them accountable. All right. Accountable for their conduct. Wherefore, whenever the ends of government are perverted and the public liberty, key word, folks, liberty, and public liberty manifestly endangered, and all other means of redress are ineffectual, the people may, and of right ought, to reform the old or establish a new government. The doctrine of non-resistance against arbitrary power and oppression is absurd, slavish, and destructive of the good and happiness of mankind. Now, is this babble? Yes. It's not quantum. What's the volition? That's easy to know. It's easy to know what your forefathers said. It's easy to realize and comprehend. Right? Babble. And people get hung up on, understand. Oh, I overstand. I overstand that. I overstand you. Wait a minute. You're going to overstand me? I thought we're all equal. So, in my opinion, people talking, they want to, they're trained to say, I understand, but they're in this rabbit hole, so they can't say I understand. And they've heard someone say, I overstand. And you sound like a child, in my opinion, when you do that. There's a better word to use, and I think it's comprehend. I comprehend it. I control it. I absorb that. I got it.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah. So we're all speaking babble. And when you go into these courts, see, like Josh, you just earlier described an interaction with the judge that is mind-blowing, because a judge can only talk to the dead, and the judge was talking with you, the man.
That's right.
And so, I mean, that whole, right, I mean, there's a breakdown right there. Right there was a breakdown in that system. But that system needs to be torn down, and we got to quit going into these courts, and we need to close them down. And we need to get the sheriffs to stop supporting these British agents. These British agents in the courts in black robes, these British agents in the prosecutor's office, the DA's office, any bar attorney that is a defense attorney or a prosecuting attorney, gotta go. The whole system's gotta go. And we need enforcement for law. not for legal. We, the people, need law and law enforcement. And one of the maxims of law is the law is harsh, yet that's the law. Simple.
Yes, sir. So, trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to touch on to put in people's ears. I think it's the main thing is that we're not U.S. citizens. You know, that should be the biggest thing to make people wake up. Whenever I walked in there and told that administrator that that's not me, that's the all caps name, that, you know, will this court have me perjure myself? The game was up.
Right.
And they wrote it on the paper too. So that's very powerful information. People need to understand that we've been tricked all around.
Yeah,
and all they need to do is own their authority.
Yeah. Now, see, Josh, you know, you just clarified that you don't recommend that. And I'm glad to hear you say that, because it didn't have to go that way. They could have thrown cuffs on you and contempt of court and, you know, hauled your ass away, because this is how they operate. They're not lawful. They're
corrupt.
They're absolutely corrupt. And
whenever they want you to admit that you are that name so they can arrest you, that shows their malice.
Correct. So you better, you know, the things that you said are awesome things to say, and they can be said on paper. They can be facilitated in Article 3 court through a notary, a public notary, as a notary juris certificate. And then you can also own that additionally with a $1 stamp that's backed by gold, your quantum autograph that touches the stamp and the paper, and your thumbprint or fingerprint is a seal that cancels the stamp and seals your document. You own that. So anybody wants to come after you, say like you're for anything, they've got to come at you in a court of law. You own your authority. If you facilitate Americans Notice of Liability, you know who you are. At least you should, if you facilitate it. And then I took it another step further with when I got involved with the People's Bureau of Investigation and the environmental court, and the court orders were to serve these writs execution certified mail. And somebody came in a chat and talked about prepaid first class mail and a 2-cent stamp for your tax and your duty. And then the only thing I can find online is stuff. It goes back 10 years, but you find people doing it, and you got different people putting different words and different labels and saying most of the time it works, but sometimes it doesn't. But I said, boy, we can't do this. You know, not if you're serving writs. You got to know it's going to work. So I just wanted to prove prepaid first class mail, because that was like $18 to $25, depending on what post office you're in and where it's going to. And, you know, that can start adding up. So I went in there right up to the counter. I walked away with a 3806 that went in their machine and came out of their machine. I got the top copy. I got a register receipt. It's got the charge, $18.76, I think, and then a credit, $18.76, a $0 zero balance. Another sticker printed out of the machine that they put on the mailer, $0, 0 cents. And the return address said Foreign Office of Origin, and the only capitalization there was F. And when it got processed and made it all the way to the Arrest Reward Processing Center from Michigan to Kingsland, Texas, I was thrilled. I was like, holy cow, I proved it. Prepaid first class mail. Here's all the paperwork. And then the green card came back. And I got a picture of the mailer. And so I made copies of the 3806, the green card front and back, the register receipt, and the mailer, put it all on the back side of the Americans Notice of Liability, because you see, I'm recognized as postmaster. I'm recognized as foreign national to the United States. And I am recognized in virtually every jurisdiction, because it happened in the post office in Kalkaska. The outside of the building says United States Post Office. Inside, it's filled with United States Postal Service workers. So in 2 federal jurisdictions, fiction or not, in the postal jurisdiction of the federal, in continuity of government, we know that now, I'm recognized as foreign national to the United States. That means diplomatic immunity to the United States. In the jurisdiction of the village of Kalkaska, the county of Kalkaska, the state of Michigan, and the Universal Postal Union, which may now only be the Global Postal Union. I'm not quite up to speed on. There has been some changes, and I think okay, back to the tinfoil hat. Okay, here we go. The Galactic Postal Union. I think we get on the other side, or as we approach the other side, we're going to learn we're not alone. And there's a Galactic Postal Union in the quantum. So tinfoil hat's back off. Go ahead, Josh. Give us your thoughts, bro.
Well, I don't know, brother. I think what you've done is kind of pioneered your own way away from RJG, and I think that's awesome. I think everybody, you know, coming into it with their own areas of expertise and where they've been able to make way is awesome. You know, it's helping everybody put pieces of the puzzle together. So, you know, I support it. I think it's awesome, brother. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. So when I went, this is worth talking about again and again and again and again. So I'm gonna. So after that success, a few weeks later, I go back to the same post office and I want to get some supplies. And the postal service worker there is unrolling the label 200s, but they look completely different to me. And so I comment, and I said, "Oh, they've changed." And you know, the head cocks, and well, what I wanted was the ones with the tracking number on it. What she's rolling out is Pitney Bowes metered mail. Registered mail, you know, label 200 stickers. No. We're not doing that. So
Right.
then she's getting me the right ones. And then she said, you know, she's starting to get snooty and asking questions and says, is this for that sovereign mail stuff? And I said, no. And so she goes about, you know, collecting the things that I asked for. I'm looking for green cards and the label 200s and some 3806. and as she got it all together and comes to the counter, and I said, but this is for regarding prepaid first class mail. And that's when she says, well, we've been instructed not to process that anymore. And it is illegal to be teaching it online. And I just put out a couple of videos on it, right? And so I just kept my mouth shut. I wasn't recording and got my supplies. And as I'm coming back, I have the thought process. All those things I just described at 3806 going into the machine and then getting spit back out of the machine with ink imprinted. All right.
Right.
The register receipt rolling right out of the machine, $0, 0 cents, right? The charge, the credit, all listed out. The $0, 0 cent stick-on label that they put on the mailer.
Mm-hmm.
If And I was told they stopped doing it in the 70s. We were told we're not going to do it anymore. We stopped doing it in the 70s, and it's illegal to teach it online. Well, okay, I don't give a shit about legal. I care about lawful. And I am going to teach it online. That's what I do. But I'm keeping my mouth shut. So I'm driving home or traveling home, and I have the thought process. Oh, they stopped doing it in the 70s. Well, in the 70s, I didn't have a computer. I got a computer in the 80s.
That's right.
And that computer was a black screen and a floppy disk. And if you couldn't type code, you couldn't operate that computer. And I never did learn how to operate that computer. And years later, it went in the trash. I never used it because I never learned to type code. So if they stopped doing it in the 70s, why in the latest, greatest software does it spit all those items out? And why do I have them?
Ding, 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 ding.
So, but people aren't going to the post office. Now, I am heavily targeted, and I know this. So I have to be very careful because it is war. They are the enemy. They'll trump up a charge. They'll create a situation.
Obviously, they've seen your videos, Ethan. They said it's illegal to be teaching it online. So you made a difference from your house. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, it appears that they got the Kalkaska County Sheriff's Department to move all their inmates because they didn't have staff. Kalkaska County prosecutor resigned in the middle of his third term. They're rewriting the internet. They have deleted the first thing they deleted was the results of the 1.8 billion. That's $1,800 million funding by the National Institute of Health to rejuvenate gum tissue, which they did under the false title of revolutionizing the root canal. I was still able to find the information about the funding of the 1.8 billion, but I could no longer find the results, which came out in the spring of 2019. And it was the first or second paragraph of the results of that study said failed to regenerate gum tissue. And so that's 3 years because the funding was in 2016. Now you can't even find any information through any of the search engines about the $1,800 million funding to regenerate gum tissue under the title of revolutionizing the root canal, funded by the National Institute of Health, with the results released in 2019. What you find now is information about revolutionizing the root canal, funded by the National Institute of Health, a $1.8 million study. You read into it, it's a 5-year study. The results of the $1.8 billion were released in 2019. The funding was in 2016. I am the cause of them deleting the internet. I believe the Kalkaska County prosecutor is hanging his head in, former Kalkaska County prosecutor hanging his head in shame and living in fear. And the jail sergeant woke up his compadres and the Kalkaska County sheriff and undersheriff still operating treason and tyranny on the people. So I know I've made a difference. I know you've made a difference. That's why I put your 3 of your very good videos together to put this video out. That's why I called you and asked you if you would like to come on and talk, because this is about leading by example, showing the people how we do it and what the possibilities are if you can just own your authority.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Ethan. It's definitely a lot of information, and there's so much to cover. It's kind of like we're bouncing, back and forth, but there's just so much. There's so much to discuss, and how they go about keeping you down. You know, it's like I said, it's not on one page and 5 sentences in one little paragraph. You know, it's very in depth, and you gotta jump in both feet.
Well,
So
the wake up is happening. We've got people who have been awake for 30 years, 40 years. We got people like partially waking up. You know, they're concerned about one thing or another, whether it's politics or it's medicine or it's history or, you know, right to travel or whatever, you know, and they just haven't been able to tie all the pieces together and form critical thought from it. And so, what I try very hard to do is to keep it stupidly simple, because if the stupid can get it, us dumbed down, toxified, indoctrinated, MK ultra'd, we can own it, and then we can make the difference.
yep, absolutely. It's a lot to get into, but it's well worth it. You know, you got to be free, and we got to teach our kids. It's our duty to teach our brothers and sisters this as well. You know, we shouldn't be out here charging one another, you know, money to learn this information. You know, that's something that, you know, needs to be said. You know, you shouldn't be charging your brother or your sister to be learning this information. It's okay to accept donations, yeah, you know, but as far as, you know, charging to have a membership fee to come in to look at this stuff, I would be cautious if anyone that does that. So, you know, that's how I feel about it. So, I appreciate you having me on today, Ethan. It was awesome. I appreciate you showing my videos out there to the people, and I hope that, you know, it wakes just one person up.
Right. And that's my goal too, because one becomes another, and the biggest thing is, I think that we organize. That would be awesome, because if we could organize a right to travel caravan of men with the attitude of give me liberty or give me death, and that group was to lay out a map, an absolute intended route, and involve as many cameras and distribution of the videos, and contact the sheriff of every county that you're going to travel through before you go through. Maybe even send that sheriff's department a parcel of paperwork, and let them know that you're exercising your rights, and you are willing to die to exercise your rights. And if that sheriff's department feels like they're willing to die to trespass upon your rights, it's game on. And then we go through and we show the people. And along the way, we stop and we educate the people. And every vehicle is painted up, right to travel, right to carry. And we take our water analyzers with us, our electro analyzer and our total dissolved solids analyzer. And everywhere we stop, we show the people the toxic water that they're drinking and the slavery that they're living under. And then we drive on to the next county, and we let the sheriff of every county know we're coming, and we expect not to be trespassed.
Yeah, there was just another Watch the Water 2 that was just dropped. I just noticed that today. It came out this month, I guess.
I'm not sure I saw Watch the Water 1.
Yeah, you did.
Oh?
It was on Stu Peters' network. About how they were putting the snake venom in the water supply.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yep. They just came out with the second one. So I'm going to probably load that up and play that on the radio station after this little interview. So
I'm through the new media, I'm hearing what I haven't heard about primary water. So that's good. And then I recently shared that some university across the pond, they came up with a filter process to remove forever chemicals from the water. So we're on our way. So you ready to wrap it up, Josh? You got any closing thoughts for the people, or you got anything else you feel like you want to get out? We can
I
wrap
think we
it up.
got it all, brother. Just own your authority, man, and don't be afraid to stand on it. Go watch some videos from Ethan's channel, my channel. Go to oralhealthwithcannabis.com/services. Grab the maxims of law and your notice of liability. Facilitate it. Serve it on your local sheriff's department. ASAFP.
All right, Josh. Well, blessings, my brother.
Appreciate it.
Much love and good luck.
All right, brother. Be safe.
Safe travels. All right, you too. All right, bye for now. All right, people, that was awesome. Josh came on and shared some information. From the live comments, I didn't want to get into a discussion with it. There's different viewpoints on Russell. I'd say I'm troubled by the fact that two guys that are being respected in the truther community, they're getting a lot of views, namely Captain Kyle and SGNN. About an hour, I think about an hour and a half into a 2.5 hour talk, they got into question and answer, and the question was raised. One of the questions: did Russell, meaning Russell J. Gould, capture the flag? Both of them, basically without hesitation or reservation, said yes, and then silent, and then on with the next question. So the truth is what we're after. And so that's what we're going to get. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's helpful for you. Let's see. Do I have any last minute questions to answer? All right, folks. Much love. I'll be back soon. Have a great day. Own your authority. Don't fall on the sword. Subscribe to Josh Eddy's channel. Send him a little love. Send him a donation. It's a lot easier for me to beg for other people than it is to beg for myself. So support Josh if you can, financially. If you can't, give him a thumbs up, give him a comment, help the algorithms. That helps share the information. Sharing the information out on other channels. So, all right. I love y'all. Bye for now.